All right, algebra notes for A2, 1-13, linear equations. So in the previous one, we talked about slope-intercept form and the types of slope. Here, we're going to review just a little bit of graphing. So remember, before you can graph a linear equation, you absolutely need to make sure you need to make sure the equation is in slope intercept form. And again, that's just reminding you that you need to solve for y first. And we practiced that in an earlier lesson, solving for y and whatnot. So make sure you do that. Before you can graph that, you have to solve for y first, and then you start at the y-intercept, and then you move with the slope. None of that should be brand new. We spent a significant amount of time talking about slopes and graphing lines last year, so it should be relatively fresh. And then on the flip side, so that's graphing by hand. If you're graphing with the graphing calculator, you are going to do y equals, and you are typing the equation into y1 equals, and then you are hitting the graph button. Boom. Just make sure that when you are typing it in there, make sure your fractions, let's put this down here. Make sure fractions are in parentheses. Very important there. Excuse me. Remember, you can get a table of points. You can get a table of points in your calculator by following the graph steps. And then just hitting the second button and graph to get to table. And I'll go through that right now. So let's say, for example, that I was going to graph the equation. It would go to y equals first. Let's say my slope is 1 divided by 2, x plus 8. And then I can hit right graph. Boom, you can see I've got my line graphed there. If I needed the table of points to go through and plug all those points in, I could just hit second and graph to get to the table. And then again, when you're looking at these points, you're only plotting the whole number points. Let's make a note of that over here. With that table of points there, you would only ever be plotting the whole number points. Only plot the whole number points. All right, and then in our next video, we will take a look at some intercepts.